Morning, everyone. Morning. Hope everyone's well on this Thursday morning. I think Spurs fans might have a sprightly little step this morning. We'll talk about it, people. We'll talk about it. But first, the sheriff is in town. And I know he's got something to say. So I'll hand over to the sheriff, and no doubt he'll hand back to me when he's finished. Sheriff, over to you.
Yeah, well, good morning all. Good morning all. Unfortunately, the machine broke down that's resurfacing the road. Excellent news. Excellent news. So I didn't want to go anyway. Well, I did want to go, but, it's not too bad when you get a bonus day off on it. But we seem to be moving differently. We do seem to be moving very differently. They're actually spending some money, mate, aren't they?
Oh, well, yeah.
They're actually spending some money now. I had a thought about this. Now, this is no way defending anybody if he's in here. I know you know who you are. But isn't this what a certain Daniel Levy told us when the stadium opened? The game change was one of my favorite sayings, the game changing stadium, and this took us backwards and all that. Is this not what he told us? I'm not blowing smoke up his backside, World Under. If you're in here, I haven't seen you yet. If you're in here, I'm not blowing smoke up his backside. Far from it. But I do believe he told us this 7 years ago or 8 years ago. Was it before or after the stadium opened? It was around the time.
Yeah.
But I believe he told us this, mate. But it's just taken 7 years. But at the moment, it looks like we sign who we want. I'm expecting Harry Kane to come in today. After the, should we say, disappointing England performance. As you can see by the thumbnail, it was one man and one man only that got England through. In my opinion, if you don't win the Ballon d'Or, then there's something wrong in football. Yes, there we go. Here we go. I didn't even know you were in here. I was
trying not to laugh.
I didn't even know you were in here. I cannot see the bottom of the chat. I cannot see the bottom of the chat. But just for you, World Under him, I am not blowing smoke up his backside. I am not sending them flowers. For me, at the moment, they get one. Are the daffodils still on the roundabouts, or have they all died now? They can have one daffodil at the moment, but still more needs to be done, in my opinion. Yes, he is, mate. He is, mate. And the way we're signing players at the moment, I'm expecting him to go walking up the high street. The cup of tea's arrived. Yeah, here we go. You get treated like a king. You're the king, mate.
Yeah, you are treated like a king. Come on, what are we doing here?
King Mark of Oldham.
Something like that. Something like that.
Or wherever you were born.
Chase Farm Hospital, Enfield.
Enfield. I thought it was Enfield, mate.
Yeah.
King Mark of Enfield.
Yeah, so you're right.
You take that, wouldn't you?
I'll take anything, mate, at the moment, to be quite honest with you.
Well, I'm getting used to all this now. Bombers every day. Bombers. Bomber every day, mate. Well, and I'll just say as well, did I not say, I believe I did say, wait till July the 1st. I believe I am the voice of knowledge and reason.
Don't make me
I
laugh.
couldn't help but laugh. The voice of knowledge. No, I can't even say it again. No, but I mean,
come on, Sheriff, be a bit more excited. We've just spent nearly 200 million quid. What
I know,
we doing
mate.
here? We
It's
don't
unheard
move
of.
like this, Sheriff. Come, have a bit more oomph
I
about you.
am still a little bit in shock.
Shoulders hurt when I did.
I am still a little bit in shock. I've never seen us move like this, ever. I mean, normally what happens is, all right, Fernandez, the first one, we'd have been haggling with him till about September. And then Tonali, forget it. But to just go bang, bang, twice in 2 days, break the transfer record. I'm not sure what wages are on. I ain't read that bit, but has anyone broke the wage structure?
You could say that, Mark. You could say that.
So they're on a lot of bread then.
Fernandez is on a lot of dough, over 200 grand a week, probably nearer 250. And Tonali's on apparently 250, rising up. So if and when we qualify for the Champions League, he will then be on 275 grand a week.
Jesus Christ, mate.
The whole deal, and this is what I wanted to say to some people, because people look at the figures for the transfer itself, and for argument's sake, these two that we've just bought, best part of 185 million quid, let's say, right? But then they've signed their contracts, so Spurs are in for that dough as well. And when you put it all together, it's nearer for those two players, total package, 350 odd million pound. They've sunk into two players, right? Which is unheard of.
Yeah, it is. Now, all I'm saying, right, is, first of all, it's about bloody time. It is about bloody time. So I'm fed up with this penny pinching and acting like the pauper all the time, when in years gone by, we clearly were not paupers. And secondly, now, you know, I've been saying this for months, years, probably since this channel's been going. Isn't this what that stadium was built for? It was announced as the game-changing stadium. It was game-changing for a while. We nearly got relegated twice. Let's get that in there. But it seems now, put it this way, just for you, World Under Him, I still don't trust them, because no one else will do it this summer just to appease the fans, and then that'll be the end of it. So you're not going to wind me up. I'm actually quite happy this morning, because we're actually acting like a big club. But I promise you, World Under Him, I've told you, and I told the audience, I'm big enough and ugly enough, the second bit definitely true, that when they actually do things that we approve of, I will give them a flower. You got to give them praise when they do things we actually agree with. You can't just slag them off constantly, because they've actually done something to improve the team. So this is how I wanted them to act ever since they've been here. And I believe this might be the first time in 26 years they actually have.
It might be called actually backing the manager.
Yes. I mean, as long as, now this is what I worry about as well, they've chucked all this bread at him now. Have him. You know, all right, there's a couple of freebies in there. But like, have all this. But then if things don't go to plan right at the beginning, they're going to say, well, it's your fault, up the road. You know what I mean? How many more managers have we done this with? They've said they've given in players.
They've got to stick by him through, because if there is rocky times ahead, Mark, like further down the line, right, let's say we're in 2 years' time, yeah, we haven't quite got to where everyone wanted us to be, or where Enoch wanted us to be for the money that they've spent. Yeah. When it does get tough and you do go and lose 3 games and in a row, and the crowd and the fans are going mental. Yeah. Oh my God, what's going on? It's got to be the manager. Right. Just everyone calm down. I've no doubt there'll be a rocky time. Teams go through rocky times, might have a few injuries, whatever. Right. Let's just let him do his job. He's not going to win every single game. Right. He's not going to, it's not, you know, I hope he does. Don't get me wrong. I hope he does. But, you know, if there is rocky times, I would say to some of the fans out there that jump on people straight away. Yeah. Let the geezer do his job. Yeah. And let him get the players in over the next, because, you know, we're talking about players that are coming in now, like you say, Mark, just coming in and improving the first team.
Yeah. That's what have I been screaming out for?
Right. I agree with you, Mark. Yeah. Right. So that's all well and good to do that. And if that's what this window is, that's fine. Right. Because we needed a lot doing in the first team. Right. But then it might still take, if they carried on like they are, another couple of seasons once they've purchased those, what they would call first team players, to improve the squad massively, so that when players do come off after 70 minutes, or someone has gone in for a crunching tackle in the 2nd minute and hurt themselves, whoever comes on, might not be the caliber of what you've got on there, but instead of it being here like this, it's more like that.
Yes, exactly.
And that's the point we've got to get to throughout the squad.
Well, you've only got, I don't want to mention them. Look at that lot down the road, mate.
Yeah, we won't say that.
Down the road from me is Bournemouth.
Down the South Londoners. Yeah, go on.
Yes. The Wanderers. But they have got a squad of top quality players, would you say? I don't want to blow too much smoke up their backside. But the gap, there is a drop in there when certain players are out, but it's not massive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? But at the moment, I will say they will get one flower off me. If the dandelions are still about on the roundabouts, then they'll get one dandelion. Not dandelion, daffodil. They'll get one. But this is a work in progress. Do not let, we've blown all our money this window. There's nothing in January.
Yeah, I'm with you, mate. Right.
Anyway, should we say a few hellos?
I'm gonna go on a mental one saying hello through the chat. All right. I want to get on talking about Tottenham and talking about Sir Harold.
Yes, I was going to say and England, mine, because
through the thing. Steve's waiting in the background. I'll get Mark while I'm doing the hellos, quick. If you can stick the link in again for us, mate. And anyone who wants to jump on with Steve, you're more than welcome.
Depends how many comments there is, mate. I'm right at the top of the chat here.
That's all right. Yeah, no worries. I'm going to crack on with it now. All right.
You crack on, mate.
So big up to Stu. Morning to you, mate. Hope you're well this morning. Thanks for being in, mate. Super Kate's in. Morning to Kate. Hope you're well. The quick hug. I'm getting to the side. There we go. It's in far and a little squeeze, Kate, this morning. And because we did a double bomber, sorry, Kate, you can have an extra little squeeze for 2 signings. There you go, Kate. Happy days. That's Kate. Big up to you, Kate. Hope you're well this morning. Well done. We brought this comment up earlier on. Just for Sheriff. This isn't Enoch spending money. They have, however, secured finance from Saudi. That's where all this money is coming from. Will be public knowledge once we've finished our spending. Interesting. Well done. We'll
yes,
see
I haven't heard or read any of this.
to be quite honest with you, World Under, I've got to say, I don't give a monkey's where the money comes from, mate. All right, it could be out of Ronnie Biggsall from the Great Train Robbery. I don't care.
No.
Right? It's all about now. They're spending the money. Keep spending the money. Get better players in. Keep going.
And have you got any of it? And if so, could you put super chats in?
Yes, there you go. Well done. I couldn't have
If you
said
have
it
any
better
of this
myself.
money.
Big up, Sheriff. Wembers is in. Big up to you, Wembers. Hope you're well this morning. Talking about Harry. Yep. Look, Wembers, we'll get into it all, mate. Honestly, I promise you we will. Big up to you, Wembers. Thanks for being in. Jane's in this morning. Big up to Jane. Morning to you. There's the link if anyone wants to jump in. Hope you're well this morning, Jane. Marianne, hope you're well this morning. Big up to you. Pete's in. He's not well. Sounds like he's got a bit of food poisoning. Old Pete had a dodgy night. He's gone back to bed.
Oh,
don't blame you, mate. To be quite
goodness.
honest with you, big up, Pete. I hope you feel better,
Yeah.
mate.
And
Red Zepp's in. Big up to Red Zepp. Stock up on the USA trinkets because you'll be going home after the Mexico trip. We'll talk about that as well, Red Zepp. Big up to you. Tommy's in. Big up, Tommy. Morning to you. Jimmy's in with the Lake District weather, which is cloudy and windy with a bit of sunshine. Big up to you, Jim. Morning to you, mate. Colin's in. Borodar, Colin. Borodar. What can I say? England go through. Due to Sir Harold.
Oh, hang on. Okay. Hang on. Did you say hello to Tommy?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Right. I haven't missed anyone. Not yet, anyway. Big up, Rodders. Morning to you, Rodders. Hope you're well this morning. The Chief Ghost is in the house this morning. Ghosted is in. Big up to Ghosted. And our mate Kev's in this morning. Big up, Kev. Morning to you. He's happy as a pig in shit this morning, Kev. I will tell you. Because Enoch are doing their job. That's all we ask, Sheriff. Enoch,
for once.
Just do
for once. For once.
And we'll talk about this fella that's coming from Man City as well, this Rafi Mawson. It seems like he's the one that's maybe with Vinay. Vinay, I don't know. But someone's identifying these players, right? I don't know who it is, right? But they're doing all right so far, I've got to say, right? In especially in these last two, right? Great stuff, to be honest with you. And I just want to see more of it now. I know there's a limit to what we can spend, but we still have got plenty of dough left to spend in the old PSR, whatever it's called. They're talking about 500 billion, mate, just in this window.
It is 500 million, isn't it? We can go to.
Yep. It's 85%. 85% plus 30. So it's almost like 115% you can spend.
That's of your stadium income, yeah?
It's Mark, I wouldn't know, mate. I wouldn't know. I don't go as deep into it as that. It's just to do with our over the years that we did spend money. Yeah. But when you looked at it, you'd look at a window and 100 million might have been spent just as a round figure, but we'd got back in 87 million, if you like. Do you know what I mean? So only 13 million was spent, really, so on and so forth. But we have spent money on players. There's no doubt about it, but they've been the wrong ones. So, listen, we've stepped up a level, I would say, or maybe even two. We've gone from buying players that are 65 million quid, right, or 60 million quid, that were absolute turd. Solanke, come on, man. He's not 60 million quid. He never has been, he never will be.
One good season, mate.
Right? And then you're talking about bringing in players of the ilk of Tonali, right? And again, not the best ever, but a massive step up on what we've got in the team as Sheriff coughs his guts up. But he did it, the old mute button. Big up, Sheriff.
Oh, yeah.
Aussie Ange is in this morning. Big up to Aussie Ange. Morning legends. What a time to be a Spurs fan.
I can even put up
Absolutely.
with your positivity this morning.
There you go.
Because things are
Listen,
looking good.
Aussie Ange has been the most positive fan,
Yes.
since whenever. Right now, Aussie Ange, you start getting your flowers as well, mate. Right, because you're the one. Keep the faith. It'll come right one day. They will spend the money one day. Yeah, we all say it again. This geezer's delusional. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah. But listen, we'll go along with it, mate. And we did go along with you. You never got banned.
I will say though, it's the law of averages though. If you keep on the same train, it's going to come correct at one day.
But I mean, even to think
Yeah,
Enoch
but
we're
big
going to
up to
spend
you anyway.
200 mil in 2 days, Sheriff. Do you know what I mean? It's like
unheard of. It's unheard of. I've already texted one of my Arsenal mates saying we just sign who we want. We'll be in for Gabriel and all that thing, and Declan Rice. Bring them all in. Bring them all in. We just sign who we want, man.
Morning, Drooler. Hope you're well this morning. Golden Sun. I'm supposed to be rapping through these. Golden Sun, morning to you. Nige is in and he's out because he's off to work. Big up, Nige. Thanks for the redirect, mate. Really appreciate it. Big up to you. Magic Tree's in. Morning, chaps. Morning to you, Magic Tree. And Super Claire Cowdrey's in the house. Big up to Claire. Hope you're well. We're finally acting like a proper club, Claire says. It's all we ever wanted, Claire.
Yes.
It's all we ever wanted.
It's all we ever wanted, and as fans, demanded. Demanded's a good word, because we're not short of a bubble too.
Well, I wouldn't say everyone demanded, because some people were happy with it. You know, you've got to remember all the shows that we've done, Mark, in the past. Yeah, don't worry. From a loads of fans, it'll be all right. Yeah, Bergville and Gray will come into their own. We had loads of injuries. I know we did, and they had to play, but they weren't good enough. That's the bottom line.
They're not good enough.
Because Cookie said so.
We've been fluffing about. We've been fluffing about basically doing a Mother Teresa thing, looking after the children. You know, and it's not going to get you anywhere. We need proven. Now, when I say proven, it doesn't matter if you're 21. If you've had 2 or 3 years in the Premier League and you're proven. That's the exception. But when you come from nowhere and you're 21, you've still got 3 or 4 years, because people are different. They develop at different rates. You know, so if you're 21, you've done nothing anywhere, and then you come in, what a waste of time. You just will not spend the money and go and pay a bit more and get the person you wanted in the first place. Enough of this now. We've got an academy to provide youngsters for the first team. That's it now. Enough.
Yeah. There we go. Big up, Claire. Joe's in. Morning to Joe. Hope you're well this morning. Delhi. Big up to Delhi. Hope you're well.
Hang on. Go on the next one.
I'll just bring this next one up as well.
I know. I've seen it.
Go again. Come on, Sheriff. Put him in his place.
Sheriff with a statement. I love Enoch. All is forgiven. When did you hear that come out of my gob? I have never said that. See, he's trying to wind me up, but I just laugh at it now because it is funny what he says.
Sorry to everyone for bringing World Under's comments up throughout the stream. It is funny, to be fair, but I just do it to wind Sheriff up because I
know you do. I know what's going on here, mate. You're trying to get me to blow a gasket.
Yeah. He's trying to mix the oil with the water, and listen,
a bit backfiring going on.
Will World Under get there in this stream? That is the question.
No. Put it this way. All is definitely not forgiven. Definitely not for the years of neglect. I'm reading all of these. for the years of neglect that they've shown this club. But at the moment, you must give them a teensy-wincy little bit of praise. If we'll see, because it looks like we're going to have a good transfer window. It looks like, but when it closes and the season has started, we've got what we got then till January. Now, if things are going a bit Pete Tong, or there's little tweaks he can do, because you can't buy everyone in January. If there's something else that they can tweak, bring someone else in that Roberto is identified, that he thinks will improve us, get them in. It's not this summer and boom, that's it. Can you remember? Well, they didn't even really back him to do it because he'd done it on the cheap. You remember when Pochettino built his team?
Yeah.
And when it come to around the Champions League final, 2018, 2019, when the team was sort of falling to bits, he begged them for a rebuild. He begged them to go and spend some money, and they didn't. And in the end, he got thrown under the bus. It's your fault. We've give you all this. And he was out. If they do this to De Zerbi, the drum is still down there. We're all done there. The drum is still down there. The Enoch out drum is still down there. And the flag is somewhere here. It will... All right, it is changed for Tottenham flag, but I can always get another one. So they're not completely forgiven. Never will they be completely forgiven for the crap they've had to put me through for the last 20 years.
Give me a Premier League before I'm not here no more.
Mm-hmm.
Just one.
Mm-hmm.
Just one. Just one.
I said this when the stadium opened, mate.
Just one.
Yeah, I said this.
And people say, oh, you're getting ahead of yourself. What you're doing? We've only bought whatever. Listen, this is levels now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now they've started it, yeah? What's the point of spending all that, yeah? And let's say a little bit more, and then they don't continue.
Aim for the top, mate. Aim for the top.
Let's be the winners, yeah? Let's not go for Champions League. I'm not talking about next year, yeah? I think you've got to give them a year at least to where they finish next year. They finish at the end of the day. I don't think we'll be anywhere near the bottom of the table next year.
No, well, I've got two bets. I've got two bets with one of my Arsenal friends. The first one was £50. They retain it.
Right.
So I took him on immediately because I hope they don't. And the second one, a cheeky little £25 one, was that Tottenham don't get finished in the top 10. I think you just won't give me that now.
It's too late if you struck the bet.
Right?
Isn't it? Oh, sorry. You said he might as well give you that now.
Yeah, just as well.
Fair play.
This is before all these bombers started coming out.
Yeah. Right. Well, I'm going to carry on, Sheriff. Sorry, Steve, in the background.
Just bring Razzles up. I got a comment on this one.
Yeah, morning to you, Mario. Hope you're well.
Big up, Mario.
Razzle, morning to you, mate. Hope you're well. There you go.
Put it this way. I'm thinking of sneaking over to Germany. Maybe the Munich area.
We'll talk about that, Sheriff. We'll get to that.
Yes.
Let me whiz, Sheriff.
Oh, sorry.
Ben's in. Big up to Ben. Morning to you, Ben. Hope you're well this morning. Super Stevie Maunders in the house. Big up to Steve. Hope you're well this morning. Always in. Rain's in. Big up, Rain. Morning to you, mate. Hope you're well this morning. Everyone's talking to each other. World Under says Sheriff's got posters of Viv Lewis on his wall.
Now, if I could take you up to my bedroom, I have a signed program of Gary Mabbott on my bedroom wall that arrived in the post the other day, mate.
Sheriff, cut. Too much information talking about bedroom walls and posters and.
But there's other stuff on there as well.
People get the wrong idea. You know what I mean? Big up, World Under. Delhi says he's with Sheriff. 200 million spent. What is going on? What is going on at Tottenham Hotspur? There you go. Claire's with you as well.
Yes,
Sheriff.
so you should be.
So
the voice of reason.
Yeah.
The voice of reason.
Yeah. Other channels are available. Eugene's in. Big up, Eugene. We should get 150
Big
million
up.
plus from selling Vuskovic, Romero, Sara, Dragusin, and one more.
Well,
Bergveld.
Vuskovic is gone, hasn't he?
He's gone. 46 mil.
Yeah, I was going to say it was up around 50.
And a 20% if he gets
Hello.
sold again
Yeah.
on top of that. There you go. So let's see what happens with old Vusko. Never made a first team Premier League appearance. And what we've done there, right, people, that's what Chelsea do.
Mm-hmm.
That is
You
what
know.
Chelsea do.
I didn't want to butt in and interrupt you, but that is exactly what Chelsea do. Because as soon as you said that he's not made a first team appearance, I thought, well, Chelsea do that.
Yep, on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
On a regular basis. Or they might have them that they'll have made a couple of substitute appearances or made a League Cup appearance or whatever, just so they've been seen. Is it, you know what I mean? They'll still sell them for anywhere between 20 and 50 million quid. All these kids, some of them you never see. You know, so-and-so's gone from Chelsea, and you're like, who? Who's he? For 25 million or 30 million. Do you know what I mean? It's it is what it is anyway. Big up Eugene. Jamie's in. Big up to Jamie. Hope you're well this morning, mate. Dexter's in. Big up Dexter. Steve's still in the background, I think. Sorry, Steve. We're getting there, mate. We're getting there. I'm still looking. Ben says, boys, Tommy Tuchel already has his team talk from the legendary Mike Bassett.
Yes.
We're better than the Mexicans. We're better than the Mexicans. We're better than the Mexicans. See, Ben, I've sung it for you, mate.
When you put it in the Tottenham on Tour group, mate, I saw it and I give it the thumbs up because I knew exactly what you were referring to.
We've got more guests arriving in the background. I've got to speed up a bit. Ellie, one more minute, please, Ellie and Steve. Lee's in. Morning to Lee. Hope you're well, mate. Good morning. I think I'm near the bottom somewhere. Yeah, I'm not far away. Darren's in. Big up, Darren. Hope you're well this morning. Big up to you. The celery agent is in.
Celery agent.
Big up to the celery agent.
I recognise you from. There was some celery that was in chats years ago.
Yeah, listen.
If you are the same one, big up to you.
There's celery up my allotment. Plenty of that, mate. When I go up there.
Any tomatoes yet?
Listen, yes.
I've seen them, mate. I saw them.
Yes, there's tomatoes. The tomatoes are out. And listen, I'm going to leg it in there in a minute, right? Because we planted some standard spring onions. Right now, you know spring onions, Mark. When they come out, normally you got the little bulb on the end, and and you'll just chop it down, and then right. Just carry on talking for 1 minute, Mark. I
like the stalks as well. Spring onions.
Just say hello to a few people.
All right. I'm gonna hang on. I'm not as good as him. Mark is the real host of this. Oh, Tottenham Trev is in. Big up, mate. Harry is the difference again. Well, yes, he should be Sir Harry. If he's not Sir Harry. Yes, and I agree with you, Eugene. No, I was there, mate. Well, I wasn't there all the time, but I did go a few times. It's too far for me to get up there and back at the drop of a hat. Mr. T, big up, mate. Thought the club would spend mega bucks on two midfielders. Well, I think the deadline for that went, mate. I'm pretty certain the deadline for that has been and gone. I'm not sure though. Let's see who else is in. Come on. Oh, there you go. Yes. I'm not sure they do, mate. I'm pretty sure it's the Netherlands you got. They certainly don't sell it in Portugal. I remember this. They certainly don't sell it in Portugal.
Right, are you ready for this?
Yes. No, carry on, mate.
Right, there we go. So grown by our own fair hands.
My God,
what a spring onion would normally come out like, right? Pretty much like that. That's a standard. They were all standard bulbs, seeds that went in. Lisa done these from in. Are you ready?
I ate the green bits on the end as well. Jesus. I wonder what that was then, mate.
Look at the size of them.
Bloody hell, mate.
I know this is a football show, people, but we're so proud. Do you know what I mean? We've actually grown our own food.
I wonder what the hell you was getting out there when this bloody bulb was come on the screen.
I poked him out the top as is the bigger one. There you go. I'm just going to get rid of that. Smell lovely, by the way. Smell lovely.
And I eat the green bits. I eat the leaves on the end, if they're called leaves, I don't know. Anthony, big up. Oh, no, we was and got laughed at. Well, they've stepped up to the plate at long last. Well, sort of.
Oh, God.
Lee Bond's in. Morning, chaps.
Where are you? Where are you? Let me find you.
On a golfing holiday. Big up, mate. Where are you to? Portugal? I went to Villamora years ago for a bit of golf.
Daniel's in. Big up, Daniel. Morning to you, mate. And the other Daniel's in as well. Daniel Sandoval. Big up to you, Daniel.
Big up. One love, mate.
Morning to you, mate. And I'm at the bottom. Right. It's okay. We're there. We are, mate. There's news, by the way, that Matisse Fernandez has just been officially announced holding the shirt as a Tottenham Hotspur Football Club
I tell you, mate, seeing as we're 45 minutes in, mate, we better bring the guests in.
Yeah, I'm trying to, Mark, but it's...
Well, I'll do that, mate.
There we go. There's Steve, and there's Ellie. There's Steve and there's Ellie. I'm sorry to everyone.
Are you still awake?
Excited this morning. Sheriff was on one as well. You know how it is. He wanted to get his point of view.
I'm wetting myself in the background here. It really is funny, you two, this morning.
I was wetting myself as well.
You the onions out and Sheriff asking, giving Enoch a flower. I mean, come on, you got to clip this up, man. Seriously.
Only on the 2 Mark show.
Clip it up, everyone. We don't care. You've got our permission. You've got our permission. Just don't change the words or the pictures or anything like that.
Isn't it amazing what 2 major bombers do to us Spurs fans, man?
Yeah. We had the onion bomber as well.
Yeah, you did. The onion bomber.
Put it this way, right? Put it this way. I will say the flower that Enoch will be given will be stolen from Mark's allotment.
You've got to grow it first.
No. If you watch Nanny and Grandad Audits,
here we go.
If you watch Nanny and Grandad Audits, Mark's other little channel that he does with Lisa, there's many flowers on there. I've seen them.
There are many.
I normally, my standard comment on any of his shorts that he does is, "Where are the tomatoes?"
They are out.
Yes, I've seen them, mate. I believe I saw Lisa done a little short when we was in Portugal.
Oh,
and I believe I saw tomato plants.
You did?
Because I said, I don't know, I was probably drunk. And I said to you, I've seen tomatoes on your allotment.
The viewing numbers are going down, Sheriff. We've got to start talking.
Oh, yeah, right.
I think they're going up, mate.
Yes,
Steve and Ellie, thanks for joining us and thanks for holding on. Really appreciate it.
Big up, Flicks.
Big up, Flicks. Tell us how you're feeling. Obviously, 2 big announcements. We've broke the transfer record. Looks like the wage cap's been smashed to bits as well, by the look of it. How are you feeling this morning? And is it for you, is it just the start? Or is it going to be another Tottenham, have a half-decent window and then it all stops again? Just asking, by the way.
Steve was here first.
Go on, Steve.
Only time will tell, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? But we said this yesterday, didn't we? Just give us the next one. We want the next one now and keep going. Just keep going. You know, apparently we're not done yet. So what that means, I do not know. But the arse is coming in and that. But like you said earlier, stick £150 million on Kane, man. Just get him back. Just get him back.
We was having this convo before we started, to be honest with you.
Get him back, man. Seriously.
Oh dear. No, don't. I
But
think
yeah,
that's
do you know what? It's amazing, isn't it? What Spurs are doing at the moment. It's fantastic. So apparently, Tonali's on his way for his medical. So he's flying to London today to do his medical. So
excellent stuff, Steve. Thanks very much for that.
Just read the comment on the screen now, mate.
Yeah, I know. I saw it. Listen, it was funny, to be fair. Have a look at my spring onion. I thought you were talking gay code. What are we doing here? Come on, people. Oh, don't. Ellie, so let us know how you're feeling, what you feel about Fernandes and Tonali and what Spurs are doing at the moment.
Yeah, first get the elephant out of the room, get your onions out again. We love a man who shows his onions, Mark. Anyway, yeah, seriously though, what's happening at Spurs? What's going on? Oh my God, I can't believe it. And Tonali, right, he was my favourite player outside of Spurs. And I'm thinking, are they listening to the Queen Ellie Hoybier, which I was? I've just changed my name to Queen Ellie Tonali because what a signing. And also Mateus Fernandes as well. And then we've got Senesi, Van Hecker, Robertson as a backup, probably. I don't like to use that word because he'll probably get a few games in, but bearing in mind that your doggy can't cross a ball, right? And I'm just excited, and I want our forward line fixed now. And there's rumours that we're making Krupi our first target, which is fantastic because what a young star he is, right? And I'm just excited. I can't believe it that Enoch is splashing all this money. I mean, I don't care where it's come from, but it's so fantastic, and we're getting our targets in above other clubs as well that have been after them, which is uncalled of, isn't it? It's unheard of, sorry. Oh, I don't know about you lads, but I'm very impressed. Very impressed so far. But we've got to get that forward line to make me even more impressed. Get it fixed.
We need strikers now. We need forward players.
Yes, 100%.
Forwards and wingers required.
Yes.
At the moment. Thanks, Ellie. Let's say hello to Maz as well. Maz has popped in. Hope you're well this morning, Maz.
Morning,
sure
everyone.
You're delighted so far at what you've seen from Spurs. And listen, it's all about now, can we keep it going, Maz? Is there more in the pipeline? We've got a few quid available to spend. And it's about time we spent it on the right players, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been impressed so far. I think every club has been impressed so far, even our rivals, right?
Yep.
I think it's quite telling that a lot of the big clubs were looking at both Fernandes and Tonali as replacements or additions to their squads, and we beat them to the post. Yeah, I've got so much I want to say. I'm struggling to gather my thoughts.
All right, Matt.
I want to take a pop first to the Levy lovers and accountants out there. Isn't it funny the way that when Daniel Levy leaves, that all of a sudden, within the space of 1 year, that we're doing business that the club hasn't seen for the last 25 years under his stewardship? That's a bit ironic, isn't it? Or not even an irony. It's a bit of a telltale sign that maybe they were wrong all along and we were right. And isn't it funny the way that all of a sudden, within the space of 1 year, we've broken transfer records left, right, and centre? And isn't it funny within the space of 1 year that we've smashed our wage structure? And isn't it funny within the space of 1 year that all of a sudden we're getting in signings in early as opposed to the last minute of a window? Now, I'll say all of this with a big caveat that obviously they're reacting to us finishing 17th. Again, 2 seasons on the trot, so they have to, they have no choice but to strengthen well, because we could, the third season, if we didn't strengthen, we would have most definitely have gone down, I think. What I would say as well is that we do need to temper our excitement and expectations, because, bringing in a couple of defenders and a couple of midfielders won't all of a sudden transform our ability to score goals, especially with Solanke, Tell, and Richarlison up front, and Odegaard and people like that. So I would say just let's wait and see what happens for the remaining of the window to see how they address their front lineup. However, with all that being said, what I would say is I'm really, really happy. I think Tonali is an amazing player. Ever since I've seen him at Newcastle, I thought he was clearly, I think, their best player there. I think that Fernandes is a good player, albeit I am a little bit concerned. I think we did overpay for him, but hey ho, it's their money, not mine. And that Vuskovic business, part of me is a little bit disappointed that he's gone, a little bit, right? But another part of me thinks, well, this is what big clubs should be doing. Now, if we don't think that he's going to be part of our plans in the future, and there's something not quite suited to the Premier League about him, then, they've done a great bit of business. It's basically netted out the difference between Van Hecker and him.
Yeah.
And as a result, we've got one of the best defenders in the league in Van Hecker out of it. We do have a first refusal option in that Vuskovic deal anyway, and a sell-on clause. So, if we really do want to bring him back in the future, we can do that. But so far, I'm really pleased with the business they've done. And this is what we should be doing by default. This isn't, and this is what we kind of used to do to a certain degree in the past. Harking back to bringing in people like Klinsmann, Dimitrescu, and Popescu, right?
I knew you were going to say Klinsmann, Maz. I knew you were going to say Klinsmann.
Well, that was the last time we acted like a big club, right? When we brought in 3 World Cup stars in one season, and everyone was like amazed that we did that, but they weren't amazed in the sense that, oh, Tottenham have done it. They were more amazed that, wow, look at these great players coming in, right? Because we were known for that type of thing historically. So, yeah, very happy, very happy. I hope it continues. If we don't do anything with our front line, though, I will be on the offensive going forward, regardless of who we brought in, because that, for me, has clearly been one of our major problems at Spurs. When you lose people like, let's talk about in the last decade, when you lose people like Bale, Berbatov, Keane, Defoe, Eriksson, Dele Alli, Son, Kane, when you lose those types of players out of a club and you don't replace them properly, this is why we're not the force that we used to be, because all of the attacking talent that we had over the last decade has gone and never been replaced.
Yeah.
Go on. You go.
No, I'll finish, mate. I'll go for it. I'm sort of working and talking at the same time. So.
Yeah, no. Do you know what I like about, so Vuskovic, obviously they've chucked him out on loan, the last 2 years, right? They've, like you said, they've obviously said that he's not part of the plans. We'll sell him on, right? And that's good. That's, like you said, that's what big clubs do. Same with Belez as well, right? So Belez came in, didn't he? 3 years ago, was it? Was it 3 years ago Belez came in?
Something like that.
And they've sent him out on loan for 3 years, right? And then now they've gone, no, do you know what? We're going to get rid of you. And I think they got 8 million for him or something like that. And the same with Basuma. Yeah, Basuma's run out of his contract, so they've gone, yeah, thanks very much, see you later. I like that, because Levy probably would have put him on a 2-year contract. Now, I know we've put Davis on an extra year contract, right? That's right, fair enough. And some people will say, look, he's been there a long time, that, you know, he should be gone. But I think that's more of a leadership thing. Because from what I can gather last season, Davies was injured from January, but he was about like all the time, even at games and stuff like that, encouraging the young stuff like that. So I kind of like that. So do we think Davies is going to start every game? No, he's just there. I think he's just there as part of a leadership group. I really do.
Yeah.
So I'm comfortable with that. But a lot of people in our WhatsApp group were moaning. Well, one particular person was moaning about Robertson. Yeah, but I'm like, do you know what? I don't care. He's experienced. He's got Premier League experience. He's won trophies. You know.
Let's face it, Steve. Let's face it, Steve. I already said this when Ben Davies signed that year extension.
Yeah.
Right? I'll be astonished if he gets any minutes next season, and he's only here to do his coaching badges, and they're going to keep him knocking about the club because he's been here forever.
Yeah.
As a coach, once he gets his badges, I'll be astonished. And Robertson isn't going to be the main left back.
Yeah.
For a start, he can't do it because he's about 40. However old he is. No, he just can't do it, can he? But he's an option. And he's...
Well, I don't know if I agree with that, Mark, because... Sheriff, because, well, I'm not being funny, but he's probably better than all our left backs now.
Well,
even at 32.
But let's face it, he's never going to be... He's never going to be the starter,
no,
is he?
He's not the long term. He's not the long term future of the club because of his age.
No,
but you know, I don't think if we just look at it, Ben Davies, it's better than Ben Davies. You know, there's no point discussing that. Adoji's constantly injured, right, and he needs to pick up form. You know, that he had early in his Spurs career and his U-90 days. He needs to rekindle that. And what better person to do that than someone like Roberto De Zerbi? So I would keep Adoji around for sure. And he's a bit of a unit as well. So, and we need that. So he's got everything attribute-wise. Spence, you know what? I don't know what it is about Spence, but I'm beginning to sort of kind of dislike him a little bit because
he was rubbish last night.
Yeah, he reminds me of a player. Yeah, exactly. He reminds me of a player that thinks he's arrived and he hasn't yet.
Yeah.
Right? And he's got an attitude problem. Yeah. And if he had someone like Keane in that team, he would have pinned him up against the wall and told him to back up his ideas. So I'm not convinced with Spence, just purely on an attitude problem. And an output as well, right? Yeah, he can have a good game here and there, but how many goals and assists and stuff has he had? When he's been bombing forward.
This is it with Spence, isn't it? I think everybody's been sort of had the wool pulled over their eyes by a couple of decent defensive performances over on the left-hand side, in particular against PSG. And yet, if you actually do a long-term analysis of what he does, you know, and get some real views of what he consistently does. And what he consistently does is take the ball to take the ball to the halfway line, cut onto his right foot and pass in, or he drifts inside and leaves the outside, leaves the touchline empty. And I've heard a lot of people saying he's only doing that because he's on the left. He's on the left-hand side, but he does exactly the same on the right-hand side of the pitch. So, look, I'll be clear. It wasn't Spence's fault, the goal yesterday. But as a fullback, he is incredibly limited. He is really... And when people were saying at the end of the season, oh, you know, I'd sell Porro, I was one of the people who was putting my hand up and going, look, I'd sell Spence before I sell Porro. Absolutely, 100%, and I suspect that that will become more prevalent in the fan base as people actually start looking at, you know, when people like, you know, me and you, Maz, actually say, well, actually, have you looked at this? It's at that point that people start looking and then they start seeing, and when they start seeing, then they start believing.
Did you see the incident last night, Ray, where Spence took the throw on for England and Tuchel just shouted at him and he threw his arms up and then sloped around the pitch for 10 minutes in a mood because he got told off by Tuchel? And I'm like, well, what are you doing here, mate? We were 1-0 down at that point. I was like, what are you doing? Seriously?
Is that when-
and then
is
they took Spence off and put bloody Declan Rice at freaking right back. Do you know what I mean? That's
He's done a better job as well.
Yeah,
everything about
Spence is a funny one, isn't he? You know, you can watch Spence, right, say 3 or 4 games, and he'll have fantastic game, yeah? And then he'll go, like, Rain hit the nut now, right? Consistency, yeah? You can't have 3 or 4 good games and then have 10 bad games. You can't do that, right? You've got to be consistently good, right? And he can hit the heights, because we've seen it at Spurs, yeah? And we were all raving about him. And then this is why coaches look at him and see how he is in training, how he performs on the pitch, and they don't trust him. The trust word is very important in football. Do you trust him to be consistent? And they can't. Yeah, so Rain, you're spot on there.
The problem is, Ellie, I'm not sure he's ever actually had any good performances. I think
he did have a few. He did have a few, but not enough.
I think
not enough to convince me, anyway.
Yeah, I think if we go back and have a look at those performances, and admittedly, some of them are like 9 months ago, so it's hard to have a recollection. What he actually did was produce a few good moments against some of his wingers who he was up against. When you look at, what people are saying about him going forwards, and like big up to Sean. Sean very early on was saying the one thing that Spence doesn't do is develop relationships. I don't see him, like, if you see your doggy, right? Your doggy and son, they used to interlink constantly, right? It was almost it becomes almost psychic, right? You have that psychic connection with your partner, with your the guy who you're normally linking up with. You see it with centre backs all the time, right? And Spence doesn't bring any of that. And maybe Maz, maybe that's because he's a big I am.
Yeah, he seems like that.
For me, listen, Spence had his problems. I've got to say, we all know about the problems that he had under Conte and so on and whatever, and different managers in different leagues didn't fancy him, apparently because of his attitude, right? Mm-hmm. Now, for me at Spurs, right, Jed Spence did put in some decent performances and got called up to the England squad, if you remember, originally. Yeah,
but that's an achievement on its own.
But then he got there and he fell off again.
Yeah. He fell off a cliff.
He fell off again. Yeah, and perhaps it is his ego, or what, I'm there now, I've done it, I'm an England international. And instead of them proving how good he is, he's just, I've made it now. I don't need to do no more.
One thing about really good managers is that they quickly identify who's got a good attitude and cohesive in the squad. Jose was very good at that. Quickly singled out Dele Alli as a person that wasn't right at the time, putting aside his personal problems. Yeah. Conte also did that. He actually singled out Richarlison, even though he brought him in. He fell out with him really early doors because, again, poor attitude. Bissouma, Conte identified poor attitude. And Mourinho with Ndombele, albeit he was the one who really tried to get Ndombele to do something. And under Mourinho's time, Ndombele was the best period for Ndombele at Spurs, albeit short. And I think Roberto De Zerbi, is quickly doing that. And I think it'll be really interesting to see which players go out the door. And I think we'll be surprised by some that are exiting.
I wanted to talk about that next, Maz. Actually, that was what I was going to come on to, it being a bloated squad and so on. One game a week next week and all that, and so carry on, mate. Yeah, carry on with the conversation. Go on. Sorry, mate.
Well, I think I think the bad eggs currently in the squad are Romero. He has to leave, Romero. There's just too many things wrong with his attitude and his discipline and his honesty, to be honest, because I actually don't believe that he loves the club at all. You know, he always, when you see his social media, it's just the biggest pile of turd that you've ever seen. It's just all platitudes that mean nothing. And the way that you show that you love a club is by what you do on the pitch, right, and your performances and how you behave on the pitch and your leadership qualities. And what leadership qualities has Romero ever shown on the pitch, apart from when he saved us when he scored an odd goal here and there in certain games? That's not enough for me. Just popping up and scoring a goal because no one else is scoring doesn't necessarily make you an amazing leader all of a sudden. There's other attributes to leadership. And Rain identified one is building partnerships and relationships throughout the squad. Has he really done that? I don't think he has. All he's managed to achieve is create factions within the squad at one point when everything was going wrong. And so Romero needs to leave. I think Spence is clearly got an attitude problem. And people like Sarr as well. You know, I don't think he's outwardly done anything that we can see that you can point to say, oh, that's wrong. But the fact that he's been at the club and his performances have gone up and down, up and down, up and down, shows that he's either not putting the effort in, because in some games he looks decent, in other games he looks like he's so bad, it's like, you know, he doesn't know how to play football. And it seems to me also as well that Graham Bergvall seems to have a little bit of a problem as well. You know, things going out there that he wants to leave Spurs and stuff like that. Well, mate, you've only been at the club for 2 years. We bought you when you're 18. Why do you want to leave the club all of a sudden? You're not bigger than Tottenham Hotspur. So, you know, I let other people chime in, but they're the things that I want to see. I want to see some of those players leave the club, and for Tottenham to be ruthless. Pochettino done it when he first came in, and he was really successful at doing that. And I think we need to give Roberto De Zerbi that opportunity to clear out the players that aren't conducive to the camp that he's building at Spurs.
Yeah.
I think De Zerbi would have walked through that door, taken that first training session and sussed out straight away who he wants to keep and who's going to do it and who ain't going to do it.
Well, at the end of last
He
season,
came at the end of the season and went,
he said that he only wanted to keep a dozen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hence
exactly.
12, wasn't it? He said. And I'm just going to answer Joe here. Spence, there's been loads of reports about Spence.
Started with
various managers.
Started with Warnock.
Yeah.
Right. Started with Warnock a long time ago. And he's, you know, for all anybody can, you know, say that they want that they didn't like Frank. They didn't like the, you know, didn't like he did this, did that. You don't do what Spence did to Frank on a repeated basis. It's that showed a profound amount of disrespect.
Excellence. Yeah,
absolutely. He went on a didn't he do an interview with Rio Ferdinand, and he committed what is, you know, an absolute no. He did the whole interview with in sunglasses, which I think is
that's right.
Absolutely shows who he thinks he is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and do you know what? That's fine. He can be that person. But the problem is, and I think this is what we're saying, the problem is, I think it impacts the way that he performs on the pitch. And that's the problem. It's not that he's a big I am. It's that he's a big I am and he behaves that way on the pitch and doesn't get results.
To me, he thinks he's Billy Big Bollocks and he's got no proof to back it up. Just because he got called up for England and he's playing for a Premier League side, he thinks he's made it.
And that was the major problem last season, was the attitude of some of the players, some of the squad players, right? And look, we was in the mire, basically. Yeah, like I said the other day, that was like the biggest season in Tottenham Hotspur's history, right? With the chance of how close we were to being relegated. Yeah. So with De Zerbi come in, and we all know what De Zerbi's like, don't we? You know how fiery he can be. And if a player ain't doing it, and he's shown this player's shown that he ain't doing it, and his attitude's all wrong, he'll be out the door. And I think this is what we will see this summer. He
Well,
would have
all I got
known.
to say to that, Steve, is that when De Zerbi come in,
Yeah.
7-8 games from the end of the season, we were all waiting for that Conte moment when we played Southampton, the Easter Club and all this. But if the club are going to act like they are now, then you can't say he's going to be happy.
I think De Zerbi held back last season because of the situation we're in. He came in and went, right, okay, I've got a job to do here. I've got to keep this club in the Premier League. Yeah, get to the summer. I'm going to say to this club, I want to get players in that I want, which seems like it's happening now. So now as soon as that pre-season training starts and those players come back, he'll know who he wants gone. Yeah. And I think you'll see them shift out, because what we're doing at the moment is we're buying players in, which is not what we normally do. We normally sell a player and then to get no one in. We're buying players in now, and then he'll go, right, this player, I don't want any more. Sell them for me or loan them out or whatever.
Yeah, killer kicks. It's not one thing that we're criticising a player for. What we're saying is there's a wider picture. There's this big picture that we're getting of somebody's character. And you know what? Character is the most important thing when you've got an employee, when you've got somebody who works for you and let's be brutally honest, works with you, right? Their character, how they're going to behave, is absolutely vital and important.
Yeah.
And it's this, the wearing sunglasses in an interview, all of the other stuff that comes along with Spence, it just builds a picture of his character, mate. That's what we're saying.
Spot on, Ryan. I was going to say that, and I can just, if it's 5 seconds, I've testified to that. I've had a multi-million-pound P&L, and I managed directly 200 staff, and picking the right characters within my team and my company was of paramount importance. Ability, to a certain extent, almost didn't matter. When you first bring them in, you just want to see, are they the right people? Did they have the right attitude? Are they professional? Are they courteous? Are they punctual? Can they communicate properly? And that's a massive part of any profession, any walk of life.
And don't forget, they're going to be spending a lot of time on that training ground next season, because they're going to have one game a week, pretty much, for most weeks of the season. So they're going to be spending a lot of time together, Monday to Friday, on that training pitch. I'll tell you that now. So you've got to have the right players and attitude for what you want to do.
Put it this way, if you're working with 20 other people, right, say, and one's got an attitude, they stand out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
We all know the ones, we've all been workplaces and someone's, they're moaning and groaning every day. And you think, if you don't like it, mate, leave.
Yeah. It's work ethic as well.
Yeah.
It's work ethic as well, guys, right? So you can have all the ability in the world, right? But if you haven't got the work ethic, we saw it with Ndombele, right? He had all the ability, all the talent, but there was no work ethic from him, right? And then we've got someone, do you know what's funny at Spurs, right? We've got someone like Richarlison who does put the work ethic, but he hasn't got the ability, yeah? And there's other players in the squad as well. Look at Bergvall. He's regressed. He's actually regressed since he's been with us, right? And then he comes out with he wants to leave. I'm with you on that, Maz, right? Because he's not bigger than Tottenham Hotspur, right? And he's thinking, now he's at the World Cup. He's just been knocked out as well. And I was watching him play and I was thinking, this lad, when he first came to Spurs, I thought, yeah, he's got something about him, right? He's got attributes that I like, right? But there was no end product from the start till now. But he's actually regressed as well, and he has been given a lot of game time at our club, right? To see the window where we can see him progress. But I've actually seen a regression in him. So if we sell him, I won't be too sad, right? Because I just don't think he's going to be the player that he thinks he is, right? And I did have high prospects of him when he first came because I saw something in the lad, and he's still there, but he's just regressed. Then there's other players like Van der Ven. We can't dismiss that he also was petulant towards Frank, and he's been making noises, and we don't need that in our camp. However good he is, we don't need that in our camp. We need players that are committed to Tottenham Hotspur and want to play for us.
The
And it
difference,
Ellie,
seems
I
like
think
let's be
Van der
fair.
Ven is committed though. I think Van der Ven is
he was
committed.
made the captain when
Yeah, no, but
Yeah.
Romero,
let's be clear.
yeah,
The
and
difference
he
between
did step up. He did step up, I must
Sorry,
admit.
Ali, the difference between Van der Ven and Spence is that Spence has done it repetitively to lots and lots of different people. We're currently talking about it because he's currently just done it to Tuchel.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's the problem. The problem is consistent behaviour. Anyone can have a moment. Anyone can have a, oh my God, I've just lost my head moment, right? We're all human beings. None of
Yeah,
us, except for my neighbour, apparently, are perfect human beings, right? None of
yeah,
us are perfect all 100% of the time, but some
yeah,
people, you can see their consistent
I
behaviour.
agree.
Can I just call out something that Maz has said?
Go on.
Oh, sorry, right. So Romero, I think there's some facts being generated, but I want us to sell Romero, right? But I think there's some facts being generated to justify people not liking Romero, right? This and Romero absolutely has developed a relationship with Van der Ven. I don't think anybody can say that Van der Ven and Romero don't have a very good relationship together. They absolutely do. You can see it in everything that they do. The Romero has absolutely given us moments where he's dragged us through games, not just when he scored goals. I still remember back to the Leicester game where, oh my God, what was his name? The Dutch kid who
Bergwijn.
where Bergwijn got all the plaudits for scoring goals to get us over the line in that game, but it was all kicked off by a blockbuster tackle by Romero on the halfway line where he charged out, blocked one of his blockbuster tackles, got the ball.
Yeah,
That then broke out to Harry. That then got to that then broke out to Bergwijn, and we went on from there. We can't rewrite history, right? And try to take away all of the good things to justify a negative opinion of somebody. Romero has absolutely been fantastic for our club, but he's just not right for us anymore, in my opinion.
Rain,
I don't think I did that, Rain. Though, did I? I don't think I made out that. I said he's had good games where he's saved us, where he's scored goals, and he's had moments. But for me, when you have sorry, I just got a phone call. When you had someone that is mutinous, like he has been, him just striking one good relationship on the pitch is not enough. You need, if you're the leader of the whole team, then you have to be for all the team, right? You can't just have one good relationship with Van der Ven, but forsake everyone else. Now, granted, I'll yield the point that we don't categorically know that he hasn't struck any other good relationships within the squad. But Rain, would you have someone in your company that publicly, disapproved of the leadership and stuff like that? Now, whether I actually agreed with him, right, and I defended him vigorously on that, but I also think that the club didn't take corrective action on that front that protected Tottenham Hotspur. I wrote a little post on Spurs Corner about how I blamed Romero for 50% and then I blamed the club for the other 50%, whereby what they should have done is reprimanded him and effectively sent the message out that no one player is bigger than Tottenham Hotspur, and that we have standards and professionalism and yada, 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 all of that corporate speak, right? And that would have quelled any ongoing unprofessionalism from other players if they reacted in that way and they were consistent. But I hear your points. I'm not here to like just dig him out and say he hasn't done any good for Tottenham Hotspur, because you're right, that's incorrect.
Yeah.
That is rewriting history, right?
No,
But
this-
I do also feel that he's taken it now beyond the level of repentance, right? And
So
if you strip him of the captaincy now,
Yeah.
which I think the club has to, is there a way back for him? I don't think there is.
if I can put it another way, Maz, and feel free to tell me if I'm saying this wrong. That you feel that he basically now feels that he's bigger than the club, and if that's kind of a sentiment that you're saying, I completely agree. I think he absolutely does think that, and if we put it like that, I think that's something that everybody can get behind. You know, you can say these things, and I'm always clear. I suspect that a lot of these things are never said for the first time in social media. I suspect that they're said a lot behind closed doors.
yeah.
And when it doesn't happen, it then goes to social media, including behind closed doors, including, let's be clear, we know it happens, promises from certain people like Mr. Daniel Levy to people that then don't happen, and those people don't forget those promises. Daniel Levy may make them maybe, and I've seen loads of negotiators like this. He may be the type of person who makes promises and then thinks, that's it, the negotiation is done now, I've won that. But the people who you make promises to, they remember them. And, you know, so I can fully understand, just coming all the way back, circling all the way back, I can fully, like you, I can fully understand why Romero does it. But the feeling is very much that he now feels he's bigger than the club. And we don't need people like that.
Yeah, I think you just steel manned my thoughts quite well there, Frank, to be honest.
Yeah. Do you know what I find is a confusion at the club as well? Because you see Romero come out with these attacks on the board, right? And then he gets made captain, and then he says more things, and he still keeps his captaincy. Now that's sending out the wrong messages in my book, right? If somebody does that, surely as a club, if you've got really good leadership, which we haven't, we've seen it, right? And they still kept him as captain. So for me, that shows weakness. That shows real weakness in our club.
It shows mentality has to change from the top
Yes,
all the way down, and it filters its way down
that's
through
right.
the club to the people on the pitch to make sure that everyone is behind the same plan throughout.
Yeah.
We've been shouting about this, Matt. How many months or years have we been shouting about this, Matt?
Yeah.
Mentality.
So we're blue in the face.
Does anybody know who Romero's might any of the posters about who we've signed yet? I've not seen anything.
And I think the biggest worry is that nobody else wants him. And he does, you know, Romero clearly wants to leave the club. But just like selling a house.
What's happening there? It's Romero's in the house.
It's like selling a house. You can want to sell it all you want, but if somebody else doesn't want to buy it, you're going nowhere. And
Yeah.
he seems to want preferred buyers, and they ain't knocking. So I don't know what we're going to do with Romero, because we want to move on. He wants to move on. We just need somebody else to join us. Help him move on.
I mean, Romero signed a new deal last summer, didn't he? signed a new contract, right? You know how long that was for?
Well, look, whatever it was, Steve, at the end of the day, right, if Romero is not wanted by De Zerbi, he doesn't want that sort of attitude in the club no more. It's up to Spurs, like they're showing with Fernandez and especially Tonali, with what they've paid for him. It has to work in reverse as well. And like Danny said on his show, there may be certain players that Tottenham have to take a hit on to get rid of them. And that's what big clubs do, mate. They take the hit and they work out how they're going to make that money back and so on and so forth. And they need to go and buy better players and get the Spences and the Romeros and the Basumas, who's already gone. They've let his contract run down and he's gone on a free. Those players that think that they've made it or then they're bigger than the club or whatever it is, or they want to leave. They've come out and said they want first team football. They're not happy to wait at Spurs. I want to go. Vuskovic, ta-da, bye. You're not in the plans. Take the money.
How many times did you heard Davis come out and moan and whinge and kick up a stink that he's not playing, or moan about the fact he's not getting game time and called out the club? And you've never heard it, and that's why he deserves to stay, because of his attitude.
I don't agree with that. No, I'm sorry, man. I don't agree. I tell you why I don't. Not because you said anything wrong in the sense of he's not a nice bloke and he's professional, but he wasn't of the ability to demand that type of treatment, right? So you see what I mean? Like you can't. He knew that he came to Spurs as a second choice left back, and he's remained a second choice left back forever at Spurs.
Or a third choice.
I think I get your point, but I think he knows that his ability doesn't grant him that type of grace.
One thing I'll say about Davis, I agree with Steve and I agree with you, right? So he's stuck. They've stuck him around because of his attitude, and he's got a very, very good character. And like Rain says, you need character building in the squad. You need players to talk to the youngsters. He's a good egg to have around, but ability wise, I agree with you, Maz. He's not up to it, and that's why he's been second or third or even fourth choice at times. All right, but what I will say, when he has played, he plays with his heart in his sleeve, right? And that's what endears him to fans, that they do know that his ability is not there, but they will always have his back because of his attitude and his character.
Mr. 6 out of 10. Mr. 6 out of 10.
He's a 6 out of 10. You might get a 7 out of 10 on occasion, but
you're never going to get a 1 or a 2, are you?
No, you won't, because he's that character.
I don't know, guys. I think we're doing what Ray said we're doing. Like we're rewriting history. Don't you remember the dark years of the Mourinho and defence? And the Conte defence when he was our first choice left back, and the mistakes that he was making week in, week out with Dyer and Sanchez and Clement Longap and all those lot. I think we're looking back on him a bit too favourably here.
I'd say under Conte he had his best period.
I agree with Maz.
Well, to be honest, that's what happens.
Yeah, I agree with you, Maz. He's not there, is he?
Players with you. That's what happens when the rest of it are a load of crap.
Sheriff, you're all right, Sheriff? He's all right. Look, listen, I don't mind chiming in with my Ben Davies thing. He should have been gone 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? I know we were a different club 7 years ago to what we are trying to achieve now, or what it looks like we're trying to achieve now. 7 years ago should have been. I've got no doubt, like you all say, about his attitude, and he's Mr. Nice Guy, and he's got experience, and I get all that, right? I do get it. So, all right, he gets as he's gone along, and he's gone along, and he's gone along. He's Mr. Safe Man at left back as such, right? But I've seen too much of Ben Davies. I'm sorry. Over the years, he should have been gone a long time ago. He's still here. He's got another contract. There's nothing anyone can do about it. I don't think he'll play. unless we have a massive injury crisis again. He's probably here to do his coaching badges and all that sort of stuff, which is, if the club have gone down that route and he's been here for 10 years, they don't do testimonials as such now, do they? Like they used to for every player. So this is his reward for 10 years, if you like, from the club. I don't know. But listen, for me, he should have been gone years ago. If we're talking about moving in the right direction, it is what it is at the end of the day.
Do you think he'll do his coaching badges and then maybe be part of De Zerbi's staff? Do you reckon that's or not?
Maybe.
I reckon he'll be put like under 21s or so.
I think we should do like what we did with Mason.
Just quickly, there's a video of Tonali getting on the plane going to London.
Yeah,
come on.
Sky Sports News.
Don't you worry about that. He's coming to Spurs. No one's scuppering this deal because we are the top bidders.
We just buy who we want, man. We buy who we want.
Hand on heart, guys. Did you really think we were going to get Tonali? Because I didn't think we were going to get him.
Certainly not. Knowing the 26. Now, this is for you, World Under. This is for you.
Sheriff's getting some stick this morning.
I am getting some stick, but I made him a mod. I have made you a mod, World Under, because you constantly make me laugh. So big up.
He's got Bibli from Skeetar now.
Hang on a minute. But, right. What was I saying again? No. I know. This is what we wanted from Enoch. Now they're stepping up to the plate and they're doing things that we all agree on. And with the Tonali thing, I didn't think we'd get him in a million years because I've got 20 years of evidence against them people. But if they are going to act like this, then fair play to them. Because I didn't think we were getting Tonali in a million years because of how we flapped about and messed around in the past. Yeah. So now we have you've got to say big up to them.
I like what Stell says. Right? He says we always strengthen from a place of weakness, right? And we were nearly relegated. That is a place of definite weakness, right? But when we needed to, under Poch, strengthen from a position of strength, they didn't do it, right? So we have to have consistency from them as well, right? And be consistently strong in the transfer market. Don't just stop at the summer. You've got to strengthen the front line as well. So they're not off the hook completely, right? Because if they don't strengthen that front line, all the other players that we've brought in are not goal scorers. They're not. Yeah. Tonali's not a goal scorer, nor is Fernandez.
And this is what I said. If we stop at this point in time, I will be very unhappy.
Yeah,
I will be very unhappy because it's not that to say that we brought in bad players, but we're going to kind of do what we did last season, right? We didn't strengthen enough up top, and that ultimately cost us. The amount of games where we just couldn't score a goal, we relied on the defensive midfielder Paulinho and our two centre backs to score a goal. That's ridiculous. That is proper relegation team performance.
We survived by the skin of our teeth.
And just to answer Danny, we ain't got a clue how to do that.
I wouldn't have a Danny route how to do that, mate.
I bring photos up and pictures.
Come on, Danny. You know you want to come on.
Come on, Danny. Jump on.
Come on.
I'll stick the link in the chat again. I'll stick the link in the chat for anyone.
And I'm just going to go back to this one, mate, just to answer this, because he constantly makes me laugh. You don't need to do that, mate. There are other places you can get Spurs shirts.
Right. So if we get our front line sorted, say Enoch go out and get our front line sorted and make it better, right? Can we all club together and get Sheriff a Spurs shirt that says Viv number 1 on the back, please?
With who? With who on the back?
Viv number 1.
Number 1, yeah. Or Lewis family number 1 or something.
Viv number 1.
No. No.
But they've got to keep on proving it for me. They
They're still
can't.
not
We
forgiven.
can't just have a good summer and then
They are
January we
still
don't
not
do
forgiven.
nothing.
This
So-
is a good start. This is a good start. If it doesn't continue, I've already said the Enoch out drum is still down there. And I will be banging it.
I would say to everyone out there, 2 very good signings, especially Tonali, right? But everyone, just keep your powder dry, right?
Yeah.
Just keep your powder dry. We've seen it before. I'm not saying I'm not excited about it. Fuck me, am I excited about it? I just don't show it very much, right? I really want it to continue. Yeah, I don't want Spurs to get into trouble money-wise. I don't want to go down that road. Don't get me wrong. We spend that much over the next 2 or 3 years that we're in the shit. And this is where everything has to come together from anyone. One question I did want to ask everyone, which I think is vitally important, because we have actually, big up Danny, we have actually slaughtered Lange. We've slaughtered Lange since he's been here, right? And I am chief adjudicator of that, apart from Kate Rixham obviously loves Johan. No, she don't, by the way.
Wet lettuce.
The wet lettuce. But what I wanted to say was, we've read reports about this fella Rafi Morrison coming in from Man City now, and there's a lot of talk that he is constructing and doing the deals and getting them over the line. How important is this, Rafi Morrison, in the context of what Spurs are trying to achieve at the moment?
Yeah, sorry, Cookie. At the start of the show, somebody, before I was on, somebody, I can't remember who it was, put up a comment that said, fair play to all the people who went and protested and were asking for change, because we're absolutely getting it. Now, let me be clear, and it's unfortunate that he's left. You all know that I was at those protests, including the ones at the beginning of last season, where there was only about 10 of us. And I was very, very clear that I was not Enoch out. I was never Enoch out, because I never thought that was actually an achievable goal. I really didn't. All I wanted was for my club to behave differently in the transfer market. I did an interview with Sean. It was the first time I met Sean in person before the Bournemouth game, when we got thumped 1-0. Around me there were loads of guys shouting Enoch out, and Sean was having an absolute heyday with those guys, right? Because Sean is so smart, and he's very, very easily just knocks off any argument that they've got with his, oh yeah, but look what Enoch have done, point to the stadium. But then he came and interviewed me, and I articulated I just want us to behave differently in the transfer market. I want us to stop getting promising players. I want us to get the right profile. I want us to get players who are capable of delivering in the Premier League, and hopefully have evidence. And we had a good chat about it. And Sean stopped the interview, and he went, I can't interview you anymore because you're too bloody reasonable, mate. I need a bit of content. And we had a really good chat, me and Sean, about it. I'm getting towards the end of that window. I'd already started saying, I'm seeing them behaving differently. Yeah, I'm seeing them behaving differently, and too many people have taken too long, in my opinion, to get there, to understand, to look at what, as you say, Cookie, actions speak louder than words. When Vinay did his program interview and said, we're going to break the transfer market. Sorry, we're going to break the wage barrier. We're going to get over this. We're not going to be constrained by the wage restrictions that we had in the past. So many people were like, oh yeah, whatever. But at the same time, we went and got Conor Gallagher and paid him 200 grand a week. So actually, there were actions that complemented the words, right? I think as a fan base, what I'd really like us to do is be a little bit less pessimistic, a little bit more optimistic, and a little bit have our eyes open a little bit more, and be a little bit less emotional about the past.
This is what I've been saying, Rain, as well.
It's
Like,
very
Danny,
hard,
Danny,
Rain.
when you
I've
put
got
on the
to say,
comments about sharing Sky Sports News, and I don't know how to do that, but I could have done this.
Yeah.
I ain't
One
actually-
thing I'd say, one summer, one swallow doesn't make a summer, right? So they have to prove it, Rain. They have to prove it consistently for me.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Not
There
one,
is signs.
not one window, Ellie. It has
There's
to be
definite signs
Yeah.
that there's change.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
that's all we wanted, for them to act like we want them to act, like a big
Yes.
club with big wages. Get your players in early. Yeah, not lastminute.com.
Spend more.
Or you have to Google a player because we don't know the hell who he is.
Spend my money properly, Ellie.
Yes, because it is our money. We're putting the money in.
Yeah, instead
When
of
people
buying,
say it's not our money, it is our money.
instead of buying 2 or 3 players and maybe getting one, actually go and spend the money on the accumulated money on the one who's going to be who's
Game
much
changer.
more likely to be a hit and hit
Yes.
on the ground running.
Can I just ask Rain, because I think sorry, the main event had to come in when I heard that absolute
Hello,
speech
Alex.
there.
You all right, mate?
Yeah. You know how Mr. Box Office goes. Sorry, Danny. Sorry, I jumped the queue, but I just had to get my point in straight away. Yeah, right. So you're saying at the moment, right? We need to be a little bit more optimistic and pessimistic. Yeah. On the back of the things that have happened right now. So on the back of a goal from Paulinho against Everton, right? Well,
I'm going to bring everyone back up on the screen now.
Against Wolves.
Do you not want to watch the video?
Oh, go on. I thought you'd done it. Sorry, mate.
No, because Alex was talking.
No. We're not live videos on here, mate. We get demonetized.
Will you?
Against
Yeah,
Wolves.
yeah. It's what happened with Spurs. It's what happened with Tottenham away, wasn't it, Maz?
It'd be copyright infringement as well, DK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have none of that. Oh, yeah.
Okay, the moment's gone anyway. But the point is, anyway, on the back of us scraping relegation, right? They didn't do that much in January, right? The scare of West Ham. Now we're saying, right? We need to be a little bit more optimistic, right? That's what you're saying to me. Because at the moment, I'm saying to you right now,
that's not what I'm saying.
No.
Let's be clear. That's what you're saying to me. That's not what I'm saying to you. So why don't you ask me what my opinion is, and then address it directly, rather than make up.
I'm not making up. I'm just trying to get what the idea is. You're saying to me we need to be more optimistic.
Talked about relegation. I never once talked about any of that crap. You talked about that. And you're trying to still man me, and I won't have it.
I'm not stealing anything. I'm just saying at the moment. I'm not stealing anything at the moment. I'm just asking you. You're saying that we need to be more optimistic. We need to be more optimistic on the back of what we backing up with optimism. Yes, we spend money, but like Billy's just perfectly put what Stel said, right? Okay, they had no.
I'm sorry, but Alex, Stel's the most pessimistic Tottenham fan who wanted us relegated.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I'm sorry.
I'm just defending. Whatever you want to say, yeah.
No, because Stel always sees negative, Alex. That's the problem.
You can shoot me down right now. You can shoot me down right now, Danny. You can shoot me down right now. As far as I'm concerned, you can call me the Andrew Tate of the Tottenham fan base. I don't give a monkeys.
What?
Right? I'm still going to sit here and I'm going to pull it up straight away. Right? I'm not having a go at Rain personally. I'm saying to you, on the point you just said, we need to be more optimistic. On the optimism,
that's right.
So we need to be more optimistic because they've given us a little bit of crumble.
No.
A little bit of crumble. Are you delusional?
You have to neutralise them again. You splash in the face and you completely
I like apple crumble.
Sorry, again, box office. You're trying to still man me. you're trying to say this is why you're saying it, and I'm not going to have that. And this is not what you've just said. Is not. I'll tell you exactly why I think we should be more optimistic. Okay, you ready? Kudus is a signing that old Tottenham does not make. A 24-year-old from the Premier League, 2 years from West Ham. This is the type of signing we used to do in the 2000s, before Daniel Levy got his hands on the transfer on the transfer team, right? Which happened around 2010. Zabi is going and getting him from Leipzig is not a player who we normally would get. Going and getting Paulinia, a 30-year-old, right? A 30-year-old, and getting him on loan to fill a stopgap rather than going and spending 50 million on an unproven, had half a season in the Championship player like Gray, is again not the type of signing that Tottenham have done in the past, right? For all the evidence that we've now had in the season of who he is, going and getting I've even forgotten his name. Who's the forward who we've got? Who? No. Mawani. Right. I've just had Mateta in my head. Mawani was actually an appropriate signing to fill a stopgap. It's just that he's turned out to be complete and utter dog turd, right?
Yeah.
But if you have a look at the time,
that's being kind.
Yeah, it is. At the
Yeah,
time, it was a reasonable signing. January, Conor Gallagher, 180 grand a week. That's actually not a bad signing.
No.
Yes, they didn't do other things. And I'm going to say they didn't do other things because they couldn't get the players that they wanted.
This is what I said, Rain.
They couldn't get the players that they wanted, and they didn't want to make any mistakes. Unfortunately, they made a mistake by not trying to make mistakes. They should have taken some more risks.
100%.
But what they've actually done...
I'm going to come back on most of these points because I think they're talking absolute crap. But anyway, you can come back on that.
It's absolutely fine. But what they've actually done in the last 12 months, what they've actually done is the actual actions is different to what's happened in the 10 years beforehand.
Do you know what as well? Do you know what? Just to add, Alex.
Because I've given you the TV.
Alex, hold on, mate. Hold on.
Wait just a minute. Because I think I've got the right to reply to this. That's how it works. You completely forgot who actually hired Thomas Frank last season.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did.
Oh, wait, Alex. What are you doing?
I'm just saying. No, Alex, you've had your time. You've had your time. You've had your time. Let the main event finish.
Rain, let him say his thing.
Let him say his bit, Rain. Let him say his bit.
You are not responding. You are not responding to what I said.
That's how it works. Don't do a stubborn Sean. Don't do a stubborn Sean. Don't do a stubborn Sean right now, because that's not fair. That's not fair.
Wait.
I'm not doing that.
You're telling a guy to get his point across, and you're telling him not to speak of other people. He's speaking his own point, Alex.
No. Now it's getting messy now because I've said what I said.
Let's stop.
Alex, everyone just stop. Everyone just stop for a second. Alex, just shut the fuck up for a second.
Get rattled. That's the point.
Alex, just shut the fuck up for a second. Right?
Shut the fuck up.
Just shut up. Just shut up.
You shut the fuck up.
Calm down.
Alex,
you're so heated, man. Stop getting a boner over Spurs, right? Oh my god.
All I want
fucking hell.
I'm sorry.
Let Cookie speak. Let Cookie speak. He's in charge.
Listen. Anyone can put whatever point they want over. If everyone's shouting over each other all the time, I get the bit where people are
give me a fucking headache.
But all I'm saying is, right?
Get those headache pills.
Let box office say his bit. Rain can come back at him. You can come back at him, Danny, whoever. wants to then go back at him.
I actually was going to say to Rain to be quiet so Alex can finish his point.
That's what
then
I
he
was
fucking
trying to
fucked
do.
off.
That's what I was trying to do. Alex, if you're still watching the show, by all means, click back in again, mate.
The problem is that it's not a debate. It's I say something, and then he says something completely different. And then I say something, and then he says something completely different.
That is Alex.
That is Alex.
It's not actually debating a point. So
he gets to the point in the end.
The point was that he said, "You've said this," and I said, "No. This is what I say. This is what I think." Right? And then the immediate response from Alex, "I'm very sorry, mate," but the immediate response was, "Well, what about Frank?" Right? It's nothing to do with what I've actually said.
No.
Nothing to do with it.
I think what it is with Alex, right? He wants to get his point across, all right? And if he gets interrupted, then he gets animated and he gets very cross. He just wants to make his points. Maybe they don't align with yours, Rain, but that's Alex. He likes to put his points across, maybe not in chronological order, but some of the things that he says are spot on. And I agree with a lot of the things but I agree with you as well, Rain. He's not addressing what you've said.
In a grown-up world, if somebody says something we don't like, or that actually, that they're speaking this, what they're saying we can't argue with. Do you know what? You just go, do you know what? You've got a point there. I can't disagree with that. Now, what about this? And the problem is that Alex never does that first bit.
I think what he was trying to do is point out the other mistakes that ENIC have made with management appointments as well. Because look what they did. They appointed Frank. He was their man. They sacked him. They appointed Igor Tudor, who nobody wanted. Nobody in this fan base wanted. And that was a big mistake. And it nearly got us relegated. Those games that Igor Tudor was in charge of nearly got us. Thank God they put their thinking heads on and got De Zerbi in time to save us.
100%.
Because that was a good move.
In all
so
this,
they've done good and bad. There's been good things done. No one can say they haven't done any good things because they have. All right, but we want them to be consistently good. That's the key. Consistently good.
What Rain was trying to say and what Alex wasn't understanding is the fact that that Alex is someone who, because of what's happened over the last 15 years with Spurs, right? That's all he sees. He's not looking at, and he refuses to look at anything else until there's been years of signs of improvement, right? Like what? But the problem is that Alex is refusing to see what's actually happening in the present moment, right? And what has been happening in the last year and a half, right? Which is what Rain was trying to explain, right? Yeah. Rain was literally saying that if you look at the players that we've targeted in the transfer window in the last two summer windows, right? They have been of top level, right? Compared to what we have done in the past. Right, so like Rain said, we signed Kudus. We never would have done that in the past, right? Taken the top player from another Premier League club, right? Who was in that moment was our rivals, right? And then go and take Fernandez this summer, and then go and smash the transfer record within 2 days, within 24 hours. Sorry, right? So that in itself, and paying Tonali nearly 300 grand a week. I'm sorry, but if that's not different, then what is? Because Spurs have never done that. Not even Harry Kane was on 300 grand a week, right? So the fact that they're doing these things, and the fact is, I think we're still going to get someone like a Krupi. I think there's another 200 million to spend. Because imagine if Tottenham go and sign a Krupi, a Savinho, and then maybe like a Rashford or a Gakpo on top of that. You're looking at that. You're looking at a team that could challenge for the title, and I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, right now, are we wrapping up, or
whenever you're ready, Sheriff? Yeah, I'm all
right. I want Alex to come back on.
Yeah, I'm all right.
I've only just got on.
Well, all I'm going to say is,
I haven't said nothing yet.
All I'm going to say is, after 25, 26 years that they've been here, and they even come out and said it, Christmas, New Year, whenever it was, we have not put the football first. We have fucked up, basically. If they're going to do this and put the football first, right, and all that, that's all we've ever wanted. All the protesters, everything. That is all we've ever wanted as Spurs fans, because we know what the infrastructure of the club is, the vast sums of money that we rake in from Beyonce and all that nonsense, and the NFL and everything else. There's no excuse in my mind why we couldn't have done this sooner. No excuse whatsoever.
It's true.
Penny pinching.
But if they're finally going to do it and act like,
do you know what I think?
And act like a big club, and act like a big club, fair play to them. I'm not going to be in again.
With that,
ever.
Alex, right?
Hang on.
Alex, I know you've come back in. I want to support you as well, because you know when you've been stung.
Hang on a minute. Just let Mark finish, and then sorry to jump in, and let Mark finish. And
if
then
we're going to finally act like a big club,
can I just say one thing?
Do these things. Hang on. One minute. If we're finally going to act like a big club and do the things that we've all been crying out for, then you've got to say, fair play to them. Fair play to them. This is all the protesters ever wanted.
One quick thing on that, right? I've got a funny feeling that there's something to do. I think that, and I've always believed this anyway, that the reason they're doing this is because at some point in the next couple of years they want to sell the club, and in order to do that, they need to maximize what the club is worth in terms of from a footballing perspective. So if you have a team that's challenging for the title every year, making even more money than you're making now, right? Then to an investor or to a buyer, you're going to look at like the full package, right? But the other thing that's kind of surprised me is the fact that they stopped work on the hotel, right? Because because it looks like, I've got a funny feeling that the reason they fell out with Daniel Levy, maybe, I'm just saying maybe, is because he was doing what he was doing for Spurs for his own personal gain, right? And I reckon if Daniel Levy was still here, we would not be spending this money, because that money and the hotel would not have been put on hold, right? Because the money would have been put into the hotel, the training ground, and all this kind of stuff, right? And I think that they've seen something in that, which is why I think they're trying to actually maximize what they can get for the club by making the club more competitive.
Can I say something? Can I say something? Because I've got to say something to two people that had said something unfair when I came off, because I had to come off. No, I need to say this, Mark. I'm going to be calm.
You can talk, Alex. You can talk. I was just going to say, let everyone, whether you agree or not with that, well, I don't know what he's going to say. Let him say his piece.
Yeah.
Then you can all.
Because I've had this sort of behaviour from Sean and Sabat and all these people, and I don't care if I'm saying names right now because I say it to their face, right? So as far as I'm concerned, I've had this sort of behaviour, snobbish behaviour before. Firstly, Rain, that's not right to say that an adult conversation. This is YouTube. We're having fun here, so don't start that, because we're not doing political stuff here, right? That's being snobbish, and that's why I called some of the Spurs fans snobbish sometimes. That's not right. That's not right at all. Yeah, that's why some of the Spurs fans that I'm not going to name, that I'm very good friends with on YouTube, say, you know what, we can't be bothered to go on certain shows now because they just act like they're bigger than us because we've got big jobs and stuff like that. That ain't cool. That ain't cool, bro. That ain't cool. Yeah, you know better than me, right? I actually respected you, yeah, but please don't do that. You know what? We'll have a talk. We'll have a talk privately. It's cool. Yeah, that's cool, because I think it's just got a little bit heated. Yeah. Secondly, right? Right? Okay. I don't ruin shows. That's absolute nonsense. I only came in because I thought I didn't agree with what I said. I gave my point of what I'm trying to say. That I don't think we all should be greatly optimistic. I've said I'm not a guy that is like takes crumbs or half an apple pie for a reason. All right. I need to see it, and it's going to take maybe a year or two to see it. That's it, really. That's why I was coming back on what Rain was saying. I'm not saying Main's wrong. I'm not saying Main's wrong at all, right? Because he's got his own views on it as well, and others have got that as well. But as far as I'm concerned, right, they had to make a change. They had to do something, right? And who has been talking a lot this recently? Daniel Levy, yeah? Maybe through Simon Jordan, yes. But there's a reason why maybe they're doing it, because they're saying, you know, go away to that guy, you know what I mean, who was used to be chairman at this club. You know what I mean? So maybe a year from now, 2 years from now, we'll see what happens. But not after this season, after halfway through next season, which is the same time I gave Pochettino, which I didn't like at the first place as well. So that's my point. That is my point at the moment. I'm not saying that I think I was making the right sort of point. Yes, it maybe was certainly different to what you may be saying, man. But I was trying to make the point that I don't think I think they've got very, very lucky. They got very lucky, right? On the back of West Ham messing up last season, right? When really, if they didn't mess up, we could have been in the doldrums in the Championship for this next season. They've got a lucky break. They didn't relegate us, and now we could be dangerous next season. We could be dangerous next season. But again, who knows? I don't know. That's my point. That is my point. I just think they have got lucky, right? And they've got a really major scare, and now they want to prove something to certain people. But you can't just do that over a year. You've got to do that over multiple seasons, even when things are going wrong. That's my point.
Can I just add one point, Alex, to what you said about the luckiness, right? I think as Spurs fans, I think people have got to stop using this term as lucky, right? Because you deserve where you finish based on how you perform over a course of a season, right? We deserve to finish where we finished because we got enough points to finish where we did. It doesn't matter what other teams do, right? You're the one who always says it doesn't matter what other teams do. So you can't then use the same thing that because West Ham did bad, we got lucky, because that's contradicting yourself, right? You can't use that same argument.
How am I contradicting myself then, mate?
Contradiction to contradictions.
Well,
because
you can say whatever
let me finish my point, right? You just said, and you've been saying this for months, right? That Spurs are lucky, or Spurs are lucky that West Ham are worse than us, right? But in the same argument, you say that we can't. What I'm saying is, but hold on, let me say it again. I've just lost what I was going to say now.
You said it already, Dan.
Yeah, no, but I'm trying to explain it to Alex again. I don't know if Rain wants to take over. I've just lost what I was.
Ellie said it as well. And I don't think any of us are going to disagree that consistent behaviour needs to happen. We've seen. All I've said is that I've seen a change in the way that they behave, and I'll be very clear. I'm absolutely convinced it's coincided with the ejection of a certain Daniel Levy out of the club,
agree.
right? We've seen Daniel Levy ejected out of the club, and at the same time, we've seen them not buying youngsters apart from Tell. I think that deal was already done. Not buying young unproven players. We've seen them breaking the wage barrier. We've seen this summer them going for big name players rather than rather than the Tells, the Odebears, etc. And
player here from unknown league.
But this only. But I'm absolutely clear as well. They did this when Poch was we did this. The club did this when we got Poch. We had a whole load. We had a clear out. We got players in, and then it stopped. So I think we all agree, right? That it can't be a one moment in time thing. It has to be season.
But also, just to add on that, it's that when we did that with Poch, we didn't go and target the best players around in the league do you know what I mean? We targeted, again, young players who had the potential, right? They might have been good at the time, but no one knew that Dele Alli was going to be Dele Alli or Son was going to become one of the best wingers in the Premier League, right? So, like, now we're actually going after some of the best, if not the best, midfielders in the league and defenders in the league. So it's a very different type of ambition. And what I was saying to Alex, just for Alex to understand.
Mr. Box Office, by the way. Mr. Box Office, by the way.
Fair enough.
Get that right.
You said Tottenham were lucky, right?
Yeah,
I don't think it can be. I don't think it can be called luck, right? Because it's like the same argument you say. Arsenal deserve to win the Premier League because over 38 games, they did what they did, right? And everyone else didn't do their jobs, right? So that's not luck. That's just they deserve it, right? They genuinely deserve the league, regardless of how it happened. They deserved it, right? Tottenham deserved to stay up because they did, right? West Ham deserved to go down because they did. They were shit, right?
Yeah, but
so you can't say because West Ham was shitter, right? West Ham was shit that Tottenham were lucky.
They
Doesn't
were
work like that.
lucky. They were lucky.
No,
they were lucky.
no, they weren't. Because, Alex, let me just finish the point. Let me just finish the point. Let me finish the point. Are you gonna let me finish?
Okay,
are you gonna let me finish, or are you gonna talk over me?
Okay, let you finish. Let you finish.
Land. Let the point land.
Right? You don't need to get involved, bruv, man. You keep quiet, bruv.
So
anyway.
I've got a few things I could say, but I'm not going to.
So Alex, so I could then sit there and say, well, if we didn't have all the injuries we did, we would never be in that situation in the first place. It's the same shit.
Yeah,
it's exactly the same, mate.
But that's what people were saying about the referees. We were saying about the referees, weren't we? As well, what is it? Corruption and everything else, and that was it. For me personally, we got lucky, right? And you can say whatever you want about hypocrites. That's why it's called opinion. Right. I love the fact that people are talking about I can't articulate myself very, very well. I'm sorry that it's not the whole YouTube world is for everybody. Box office, anybody. I'm not a politician. Thank you very much. You know, the chambers down that way. The political chambers down that way. If you want to go and watch that, you know what I mean. My point is anyway, right, is that I just think at the moment, right, I think we've got lucky, and now, right, is that with that luck. We've had the windfall of all the money that we've got, right? To spend now, and we're taking the opportunity now. And also, I think it's a dig at Daniel Levy as well. So that's why I'm saying at the moment for next year, and the January coming up next year, and then the summer next year after that, we'll see where we're going to be and what we're going to be acting like. The next couple of transfer windows. That's where I think we're going to see whether this is actually real. We're going to see whether they're going to be ruthless behind the scenes as well, with the certain people that are in charge as well, right? Whether they are the right sort of people to move the club forward as well, because that's important as well, right? We're going to see whether how the relationship continues with De Zerbi as well, right? So for me, like I said, I haven't had that neutralizer on me, like most of you Spurs fans have had, like flash in your face and completely forget what's happened. I just don't forget. And as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't mean that I'm not happy in life, because like I said, I think Spurs fans can't understand it. I could define myself different in life, but Tottenham Hotspur, they've got to prove a lot to me, right? And that's all I've got to say, right? You know what I mean? It's not that I'm not happy with what's going on right now. If you watch my video about Tonali, I said it's unreal. You know what I mean? You know, I can't lie about it, you know, but, you know, unfortunately, Spurs fans don't listen to the words I say when I'm talking on stream, because people keep on interrupting me and then they get the broken version. That's the problem. Back to you, Mark. I'm done. I'm out of here.
Happy days. Thanks, Alex, for coming back on and putting yourself straight, mate. With that, I appreciate that. Listen, I don't know if you want to carry on this conversation or if you want to move on to what we're actually doing at the moment. A question that popped up in the chat earlier on, and we've all been talking about mentality through the club and all that sort of stuff. Does a Tonali come in and you go, you're captain, mate? Well, you go. This is a total new era at Tottenham Hotspur. New manager for the next 5 years. This geezer's being backed. Roberto, obviously, it's your choice. But as a fan, do you say, Tonali, there you go, mate. You're the captain.
Keys to the kingdom, Fernandez. I mean, just looking at it alone, we got Fernandez, Tonali, and we got Maddison. Those three all cover a position or a part of the game that the other doesn't. It just balances out that midfield straight away. We've signed, like we said, we've signed 2 quality centre backs in Senesi and JP. So it's onward and upward. We start getting that forward line sorted out. I start agreeing with Danny here. We could really push up that league and actually look better than what we have done in the last 6 to 8 years. What I also want to see from these owners is stop sacking managers every 5 minutes. It's so appalling to see a manager come in for 6 months sacked because he's not in the positions that he should be. Now you're going to get a guy come in with pretty much half of a new first team. We've signed 6 players. All right, 4 of them were nailed on the starters, but then we still got 6 new guys. We still got to clear a lot out. Still got bring a lot in. It's going to take, pre-season, probably best part of 10 games into the Premier League next year for these guys to really start ticking. So it's going to be a bit of a patience thing. I just don't want to see manager after manager sacked and then these players looking lost and bewildered when another manager comes in and doesn't play the way that they've set up under that first manager. So I just want to see change that we don't keep sacking managers and paying them off, because I feel like over the last few years, managers have come here, got a payday, got sacked, and then they're like, yep, there's 60 million in the bank, see you later. It's getting a bit boring to see that. And then we're spending more money on managers to bring them in than what we actually got in the transfer kitty sometimes.
How do you feel, and do you feel about, by the way, I've got to say, right, just going back to what I was saying about the optimism thing, which obviously kicked off this whole event, I do think as well, and actually this kind of ties into what Corey's saying, we do have to accept that sometimes, sometimes people make mistakes, and those mistakes are genuine, from a genuine point of they thought it was the right thing to do at the time. We all do it. Yeah, we think it. It's a rational thing to do right here, right now, and then going out into the future, it turns out it was the wrong thing. Either it was the wrong decision, or events mean that it ended up being wrong, right? And as a club, I think, and as and lots of our fans, we kind of actually probably football fans in general, we do tend a little bit to get tied into if something turns out to be a mistake, we have to blame somebody. And actually, like what Corey's saying, sometimes it's better to keep someone and let them learn from that mistake, and then they become a better person. They hopefully don't make that mistake again, and you can go into the future. But if you just have a coach and the first mistake that he makes, the first wrong substitution that he makes, you sack him, well, he's never going to, you're just going to end up with a new coach every 3 or 4 games. Do you know what I mean? I do think that we need to understand, and like transfers is another good example. Sometimes, not every single transfer is a hit. You're always going to get a Mwani. For 1 out of 5 transfers is going to be a Mwani. Unfortunately,
you get a dud now and again.
I'll add to the manager thing as well. It's also, look at the teams that have stabilised and succeeded in the Premier League. They've always had a manager more than 6 months to a year. Arsenal, City, Liverpool had Klopp. These managers brought in, stabilised the club when they were on their asses, and then kept them going. Longevity of a manager is keeping them there for their full contract instead of sacking them all the time. Otherwise, you're just paying, like I said earlier, just said a minute ago, you're just paying that guy to go out the door, and then you're paying another guy to come in and take his place. Then you're sacking him, paying him off. This is what I feel like with the manager situation at Tottenham for the last few years. Every manager's come in, done appalling with the players they had or the money they've spent, got sacked and sailed off into the sunset with 30, 40 million in the bank, I don't know any other job in the world where a manager gets sacked and he gets paid off for a remainder of his contract.
Yeah, right. We've been going 2 hours now, 2.25 hours. I got stuff to do. Have you got stuff to do, mate?
I've always got stuff to do, mate. Yeah.
There you go, mate.
There it is. We go.
Right, we'll leave it there.
There you go.
You're going to go over to Mia because
There you
Mia's
go.
live. I've already done that, fiddling about in the background.
Fair play, Sheriff. Fair play, mate. Big up to everyone who's jumped on this morning. Corey, Danny,
Box
Ray,
office, Maz.
Box Office, Maz, Queen Ellie.
Ellie, yeah.
I'm sure I forgot someone.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Steve came on.
Steve was on at the beginning. That's right.
Big
He was
up,
waiting
Steve.
before we started.
Yeah. Big up, mate. Appreciate you, Steve. Big up to everyone in the chat this morning. As Sheriff said, you're all going to go over to me. A great chat, as always. And hopefully we'll have a bit more news on Tonali to make sure it's all done, dusted and sealed.
Just
and
before you go, I think we're going to spend another 200 million on players.
My God, Danny.
Danny, we're going to continue tomorrow morning, mate. The breakfast brunch will be back
Let's
at
get some more
9:30
bombers.
tomorrow morning. We'll crack on with it. We'll see if there's, as Sheriff says, is there any more bombers?
The Sheriff's bomber.
Thanks, everyone, for being here. And as always, come on, you Spurs.